So then let's start with this exciting topic. We heard a lot about several approaches in creating frameworks, operational frameworks, technical frameworks, policy frameworks, regulatory frameworks, all needed on emerging technologies and bringing this in balance to their innovative potential. Now, our question, of course, is how can we concretely collaborate in the field of justice where we might have different frameworks from country to country when we have cross-border, cross-sectoral issues. So it's my pleasure to have this discussion with both of you. And Toshi, I would like to start with the first question. How do you manage, in an overall way, AI and emerging tech governance at Interpol?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. And Interpol has developed its own AI tools called Artificial Virtual Assistance, so-called AVA for short. This tool is designed to support Interpol officers with tasks such as language translation and text editing and proofreading of documents. And while this tool is very powerful, Interpol officers are instructed to always verify and critically assess its output, as the information may not always be up to date and accurate. So at the Interpol, we are guided by a strong commitment to upholding the ethical standard, human rights, and transparency in our use of AI and emerging technologies. To ensure the responsible use, we have established an internal committee comprising experts from key areas such as information security, data protection, and ethics. This framework provides a platform for discussing implication of the emerging technology and promoting a culture of responsible innovation. So as a director of Interpol Innovation Center, I am overseeing the matter related to emerging technologies, and Interpol has established a responsible artificial intelligence laboratory under my responsibility. So with 196 member countries, we recognize that many are just beginning to explore the potential of AI in law enforcement, and building a trust and a confidence in the use of AI is very crucial. And this team is dedicated to providing practical support to these countries. So we are working to ensure that the AI technology are adapted and implemented responsibly with a focus on transparency, accountability, and human rights. By doing so, we believe that we can harness the power of AI to enhance global security while upholding the highest standard of integrity and ethics.
Thanks a lot, Toshi. Very insightful. What is, in a nutshell, Toshi, the Friendship Initiative about, and how do you collaborate there with other organizations?
Well, thank you very much for the question. So Interpol published the Toolkit for Responsible AI Innovation in Law Enforcement, also known as the Interpol AI Toolkit, in 2023. And this comprehensive guide aims to support law enforcement agencies in addressing the most pressing challenges associated with the use of artificial intelligence. The publication is available on the Interpol official website. And the development of AI Toolkit was a collaborative effort involving relevant stakeholders, including the academia, private sector, and human rights experts. And effective collaboration with external partners is always a key to our activity. Our goal was to create a resource that is adaptable to different legal framework and operational practices across our member countries. As we all know, the global landscape is rapidly changing with technological advancement, and the public perception are shifting accordingly. So to keep our toolkit relevant and effective, our team is consistently researching global trends in AI, governance, and international best practices. However, we have identified a knowledge gap in understanding the latest technological trend in market and the legal framework governing AI registration across different countries. So we are calling on experts in this field to contribute their knowledge and expertise. This cooperation will enable us to improve the Interpol AI toolkit, ensuring it remains a valuable resource for the global community. So by promoting a multi-stakeholder consensus-driven approach to developing standards, we, Interpol, can ensure the interoperability of emerging technology and foster responsible use within law enforcement organizations. This approach is critical to building trust and confidence in law enforcement use of AI and emerging technologies. Thank you.
Thanks, Toshi. Mustafa, let's maybe come to another very crucial field of using AI and tech governance, cybercrime, where we all have to be, again, sensitive in what we do and how we create frameworks. What are the trends you see in global collaboration for justice regarding AI and tech governance?
Okay, thank you, Nicholas. The UN has been actively engaged in the development of governance of artificial intelligence since about 2017. And institutions like ITU, for example, Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights, UNESCO, UNICEF, and UNODC have been actively working on this field in their own capacities. But in 2020, there was an interagency working group established in the UN system, which eventually led to the establishment of the AI for Good initiative. And this AI for Good initiative actually collected about 40 different UN agencies in one place. And then, but the notable achievement came in 2021 with the UNESCO. Yesterday, one of the panelists, Mark Rothenberg from the Center for AI and Policy, already mentioned that that basically UNESCO came up with the release of the recommendation for ethics, AI ethics. And this was the first global framework that we can talk about on the governance of the AI. It was after the global consultations, and then it was one of the soft laws that we have in the area of governance of the AI. Of course, it was this recommendation emphasized values of human rights, human dignity, as well as established some important principles like transparency and accountability. Interesting that in this recommendation document, AI was not described very restrictively. It was described as data systems, systems that are processing data and information, imitating the intelligent behavior. And then it was mentioned in this document that the AI systems can operate in the cyber systems, cyber physical systems. Now, I would like to make a point here as the word cyber. Now, in September of last year, another significant achievement was done about AI, and that was the Global Digital Compact. It was under the Summit for Future. I know that I'm talking about some UN language, but bear with me, because in this document, the Global Digital Compact, the words mentioned digital and emerging technologies, which is actually the topic of our summit, emerging technologies. Now, let me link the word cyber and the safety, because in this digital and emerging technologies, when we mention about digital and emerging technologies, we also talked about digital literacy, digital public goods, digital trust and safety. Now, the trust and safety and cyber is the part that UNODC comes together. My agency, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, is the custodian of several conventions, several international treaties, like the drugs conventions, the anti-corruption treaty, and also UN Convention against the organized crime. So the UNODC, as the custodian of these international treaties, have been working on supporting member states in their fight against drugs and crime. Just recently, last year, 2024, of December 2024, the UN General Assembly adopted the UN Convention against Cybercrime. Now, UNODC is also the custodian of the new convention. And I think I will have to stop here because basically I will be talking more about this. What I see now is that from the soft law, we are coming to international conventions. This is what I would like to mention. From UNESCO's recommendation on ethics of AI, now we come to a UN Convention against cybercrime.
Let's come to this convention. As you mentioned, the global approaches which are existing, which are of course very important and really illustrative in their impact. When we now really want to make on the operational level concrete collaboration,
yes,
maybe between countries which will say, basically, first of all, we have different legal or policy frameworks on cybercrime. Is there a global convention we can refer to and say, there we have the collaboration base, and what are the basic principles there?
Exactly. Very good question. Thank you so much. Now, as I said, the UN Convention Against Cybercrime has been adopted in the General Assembly, UN General Assembly, but it is not in force yet. What has to be done is that, so the member states of the UN, 193 member states of the UN, they have to sign this convention first as they adopt it in the General Assembly, and after the signature of this convention, they will have to ratify in their parliaments, in their governments. So once it's ratified, it will be in force. And to be able to be in force, we need 40 signatures, 40 member states' signatures to be in place. After the 40th signature, the convention will be in force. What does it mean? Those countries who are signatory to this convention will be able to apply some very strong international cooperation procedures. Basically, most people would remember when we say Cybercrime Convention, perhaps the Budapest Convention, the Council of Europe Convention. However, it is not the global one, and that's why member states actually came together and then came up with this UN Convention Against Cybercrime. So to answer your question, from different jurisdictions, how can they support each other? Once they sign the convention and once they ratify the convention, they will have the same rules that they can apply for international cooperation, for exchange of technology. For example, today, Ms. Dana Marzouki already mentioned that there are several tools that some member states already came up with. For example, the tool that the UAE already mentioned about the protection of children from online child sexual abuse. So this tool, for example, can be shared with member states under the articles of the convention. Also, I would like to make a point here that I'm coming from Qatar, and we are establishing, the UNODC is established, actually has established the UNODC's Regional Center for Combating Cybercrime in Doha. Another practical application that I can talk about is that the center itself is providing training programs for criminal justice practitioners, starting from the law enforcement to the prosecutors, public prosecutors, to judges, and even we have training programs for public, general public, children, and elderlies as well. So basically, these training programs are focusing on increasing the capacity of the member states to fight against crimes, to prevent cybercrimes, and of course, combat cybercrimes.
Thanks a lot. Very illustrative, and I think that is the way where we then want to go to. Thanks to both of you. With respect of time, I would avoid any closing statements, and thanks to both of you, Mustafa, Toshi.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the attendance.